Welcome, one and all, to the Weiss Schwarz Market update for February 19th, 2022. We got a lot going on. Hopefully your weekend's been good. We're going to get to it right now. And first up we got, this is the JP side of Weiss Schwarz, and on the screen here is Miss Kobayashi's Maid Dragon is how it has translated to from Bing. So what we got here is this thing is coming out on April 8th. The big question for everybody was, I hope this comes out for English. Nothing's been announced for English. And what we have here then is on the Bushiroad Global Online Store, there's been a lot of things that have come out, right? We have Cardfight Vanguard, we have Cardfight Vanguard, and then we also have Dragon Maid stuff. We've always hoped that the stuff that appears on the Bushiroad Global Online Store then would mean that there's going to be a release for English. We can only hope. There's a lot of people that really want this set. There's also Bang Dream stuff too, by the way. Of the stuff that is coming out, the interesting stuff, I clicked on the rubber mats, and we got these. It's always 80 degrees somewhere, so our girls here are at the beach and they are at a hot spring. The reason I'm even showing this, not to just show you just partially naked women, is really the fact again that I hope this means that they're okay with, how do I say this? Cards that show skin. And hopefully that doesn't sound perverted or anything like that, but the reason I say that is because it opens the window for more sets that possibly would have been not coming to English because of the art they showed, and now allowing us to have it. Because if you're selling this on your actual global online store, can't you sell the cards that are similar in nature? I would hope so. Hopefully that just means that we're more accepting over here, or at least they're feeling out to see if people are able to pick these up, you know, like with the amount of people joining the game, if this is actually okay. So seeing these rubber mats, not that I'm going to buy any of them, but realistically, I'm hoping this is kind of like changing minds in the sense that we're going to get stuff, sets, cards that match this kind of artwork. Next we got Hololive. Hololive has been an interesting one lately because what you're seeing here is the Japanese release of Hololive, and this happened on September 24th, 2021. You know, I remember when this first came out, people were all excited. They're like, I hope it comes to English and all this other stuff. I don't remember at what point this was announced for English, but I always knew that this was going to eventually come out for English. And the reason I bring this up is because I still have those talks about people saying, like, should I buy the Japanese version or should I buy the English version? I think, again, if you're cool with playing Japanese cards and you want it in the moment, go ahead. For me, like, I made a whole video about it, about I would rather wait for a set to come out in English because it holds its value more. The print runs a lot lower. People can read it. Like, it's easier to play with. So when I see Hololive, and it's always interesting to me to see, like, going on Facebook groups, and there are people that want to buy some of these cards, but there's also people that want to get rid of these cards. And, you know, to me, the reason, they always have there's always some kind of reason on there. But this time around, I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, hey, by the way, you know what's about to happen, right? Yeah, we're about to get the English version of Hololive. Comes out on April 29th. I say just about, it's 2 months away. I know people are all in for the moment, right? Like, you want to get it, or people just want to flip this stuff. But right, people got into the Japanese, whether they wanted it or not, the Hololive version, and they sold it, made some money off of it, and now they decided to keep the cards. But, you know, as we see the English one coming up, your Japanese version, you're like, maybe I'm willing to part with this because I want to pick up the English one, right? Well, you're more than likely what's going to happen with that money that was sold for the Japanese version is going to be recycled into the actual English version of it so that you could do the same thing, or you just want to hold it or whatever. But that's the thing I always bothered me about, like, the whole Japanese and English sort of versions, like getting in on it early. I get it. Some people want to play it early. Some people think that it's never going to come out for English. But the other side of it really is, for me, is like people just want to profit off of it. And that's fine. It's okay. It's personally okay. I just think it's for me, when you get this close to the English release, I think it's a lot harder sell. And that's what I've always said about the whole Japanese and English thing for me. I wouldn't want to be holding onto sealed product of this stuff. So you can actually see people putting up sealed product of the Japanese version because now this English version's coming out. And that's why I said, I wonder what's going to happen with the Tokyo Revengers release, right? We have Tokyo Revengers coming up May 13th, dual release, right? Like some places that traditionally offer Japanese product, they're not even going to pick it up because why pick up the Japanese one when they can just sell the English one? Now we know with Tokyo Revengers there is going to be a little bit different art just because of the censored let's see symbol that's on the Japanese version and not on the English version. So you're going to get censored versions of the cards or even just completely different cards. So if you actually want to get those versions of the cards, you're going to need to pick up the Japanese version and the English version. But getting back to this, Hololive, why I'm talking about it is because we have this. We have the Super Expo 2022. This happens in March. And part of the Super Expo, as one would imagine, is you're going to have actual items being sold here. You know, there's a lot of events going on and all this other cool stuff. We got original food unique to the event, but there's goods. Right, you gotta sell stuff. That's what we need people to do. We need people to attend, have fun, but also we need to sell official merch. And there's plenty of stuff out here, as you can see, right? Let's take a look at that. But realistically, Weiss Schwarz, if you just focus in right there, what we got going on here is this. It's almost like an extra booster, right? Each box here has 6 packs inside of it. There's going to be a whole lot of cards in this actual set. You can see it's going to be on sale March 19th, March 20th at the expo only. And people are, I would say, just nervous at the fact that they're like, I need to get this box, but I'm not there. So how am I going to get this box? And they're willing to probably pay an arm and a leg to get it. And to me, again, it's like, if you have this release, right? We have this release for Hololive that happened in Japan. Then we have this release that's going to happen for the English format. To me, I really wouldn't worry about it coming out here. It would just be insane. Like just mind blowing if literally this product was only available for, let's say, this expo. That would just be mind-blowing to me, like as in a giant loss of revenue. I can't imagine the employee or whoever that worked on that contract for the licensing for this idea would actually just say, hey, by the way, we're only going to sell this thing at the expo and screw everybody else and the millions of dollars we could potentially make on this product. Right? Like that's insane. I can't imagine that would happen. I would probably fire the person that actually brought that up if that was the whole goal. Like literally, we're just going to make this product for this expo only. So for me, I would say anybody that actually wants this, I would just wait on it. I wouldn't really worry too much about it. If it doesn't come out for English, what I would say is, you know what, whatever, I missed it. It's not going to be life ending for me, right? Like it's just going to be one of those ones I'm going to put money into something else. If you do want to buy this, just be on the lookout for it. Hopefully you can get someone to actually attend the event and pay for it. I don't know if those middlemen can actually go there and do that and get it for you. I don't know. But realistically, I think it's coming out for English. And if you want to get this actual expo and FOMO into the sucker, you're probably going to pay a ton of money on it. It's just what's going to happen just because everybody wants it. Let's talk about Rent-A-Girlfriend now. Rent-A-Girlfriend booster box obviously has dropped over time just because it does what it always does. A lot of people bought into this set because of the actual girls, the gameplay not so strong. But now that we got more supply hitting the streets because of that delay, now you're starting to see 17 listings and this thing dropping down to where it normally does. You gotta check out Ruby. Ruby's pretty far down there now. I thought I saw it in like $58 or something like that. So it's pretty far down there. But people continue to buy it because the SSP and SP prices are pretty high up there. Per case, right, you got 1 SSP and 2 SPs. There's 18 in a case. They continue to sell as well. TCG Player had that 8% back on sealed products. So that was a good time to at least save a little bit of money, whether you bought the box or the case itself. Right? We know with the way people map or the discussion on mapping, the only safe way to actually get around that for this set anyways was buying a whole case, and that's what some people actually did. Trial deck display. We know our lovely Chizuru right here is inside of this trial deck, and this would be the card. This is the card. I'm starting to see this on Facebook going for like right before this, I saw it for $350. Some guy was selling 2 of these things. So even though it's on TCG Player for $425, you can find it for $350 on Facebook. And people are buying these displays because, again, that's the only way, in a way, one of the ways anyways. It's not a foolproof plan, but you at least have a shot at some form of shiny card, a triple rare or an SP, unless that was already mapped out too. Trial decks then are going for $18. So they've gone down just a tiny bit. They used to be $19, $20 roughly, down to $17.99. And one of the things is, because of this trial deck card, this sign card here, people went and opened a whole lot of them, and people are selling them opened. For anybody that doesn't know, what actually happens is people will open these whole things up, like this thing right there, and then open the individual trial decks inside. They'll rifle through them, look for any shiny cards, whether that would have been an SP or a triple rare. They'll pull them out, replace it with a normal one, and put it up on the internet. If they did not actually pull anything out of it, they'll do the exact same thing. They'll put it on eBay. I've seen it on TCG Player too, like under a description that said it's opened already, and they'll sell it at a lower price. Now, I've definitely seen some on eBay with like ridiculous prices where they wrote open for $20. Like they'll sell it for $14.99, and then shipping it's $20. And I'm like, even if like this, like let's just say, I don't know for sure, but let's just say literally every one of these sellers like mapped out this stuff. I would rather buy this one right here for $18 than have one that's already been opened by a person for 20, potentially opening it, damaging it, putting their fingers all over all the cards. Don't want that. So there's other people on there. So just to give you an idea, it's not all $20. There's some that's been selling for $12, right? So it's not all like overpriced open trial decks out there. So if you actually want a trial deck and you don't want to pay a high price on it, like you want to actually just get the actual box, the rules, and all that stuff inside of it, eBay is an option for you at $12. If not, I would just at this point buy the single cards for the trial deck. Okay. We have SSPs. SSPs, if you could tell right here, green numbers mean it's been sold at some price. We have Ruka and Sumi, as you can see, not actually sold at all. Right, like there's other places on the internet, there's Facebook groups that actually have sold some of these cards. So even though it hasn't sold on TCG Player, it's not, there's other places that actually have sold these. So just take that with a grain of salt. And we also have this Chizuru here selling last time for $849.99. That's what I've always said about these cards, is that even though they have high prices, they're not going to sell a whole ton of them. Like they're just way too high with the amount of with the way the economy is and the amount of sets that are actually coming out. To me, I don't, there's a certain number, and I've said it before, it's like $600 to $700. Once you start breaking that number, you're going to have a whole lot of people not buying these things. And that's the fallacy that people have with buying or trying to flip this stuff, is like, just because it's a really high sought after card doesn't mean that there is an infinite amount of money. And there's only so many players and so many collectors in this game. With all these sets coming out, you're going to have a limited pool of people. And that's what we're seeing here. So we have these SPs as well. Sumi, look at that, 13 supply, nobody bought it. Ruka, 4. Here we got 6 Mami and 8 Chizuru. So people are buying this stuff. There's just not a whole lot of them, right? There's not a whole lot of actual people to go in and do that. Chizuru is nuts. Like, just think of this. Like, look at this number, $400. Like, that's insane. $400, and now it's $200. That's definitely, it feels bad. Like, I would feel horrible if I bought this $400 thing and then now I see it at $200. That would be bad. And that's only after 8 days. Like, this is February 11th. Today is February 19th. So really, really bad. There is an actual strategy to buying SPs. I will go over that on another video. That's what I've actually been doing. Like again, I don't tell people a lot about what I buy because for the sake of my own kind of protecting my privacy and all that, I don't tell you. But I will in the future tell you how I go about buying SPs. So it's not that much of an actual secret, okay? But for now, just trust me on this one. Uh, you may want to set a limit when you go and buy these things. If you're happy at 400, again, no disrespect. If you're happy to buy that at 400 no matter what, then you know what, screw it. 200, maybe buy another one at 200. I don't know, but yeah, we'll go over that strategy. What we got here is your double rares. So what I wanted to do was take a look at the playsets people have been selling, right? Like before this release, people are selling playsets for like 250, 275 with a trial deck. There's other sites that actually sold it for 300, 325, 330, something like that. It's a huge price difference. What we're seeing now is you are seeing playsets being sold after release for 250, $200, and I even did see 150. It almost made me think that that was like a joke. I didn't even I when I see under $200 for a playset, I almost think people are joking or trying to scam or something like. And I mean, no malice towards that. It's just a number that when you throw 150 out, right? Like just think about this. When you traditionally thought of a playset at 300, 350, and they hear the number 150, it's just so low that it's like it's almost like someone's ripping you off. It's that too good to be true kind of feeling. Like, hey, by the way, I'm going to give you something 50% off. That just it doesn't happen a lot today, right? You don't walk into Walmart or Target and get a PlayStation for PlayStation 5 at 250. Well, if you could even find it, but you don't find many of those things actually happening. That's what's happening with playsets, right? It's like chopping in 50% off. But so what I did was, I haven't done this in a while. I went to try to figure out what a playset actually costs today. So these numbers are as of today. The double rares have the shipping included. Everything else does not have the shipping included on there. Okay, so that's the numbers I came up to. I went really lazy. You see TMC, that's Treasure Moment Cheeseburger. That's what that equals out to be. Shy Girlfriend Sumi. I didn't really want to just type all the names out here. What I did was playset. So people ask me about what a playset actually is. We still have those questions. So again, playset is your basic cards. It would be anything under this actual category of card. Common, uncommon, rare, double rare, climax, common, climax, rare. You get 4 of each of those cards in a playset. The reason why 4 is because you are only allowed to use 4 of any card in a deck. And that's why you have a playset, because then you can take those cards and just create whatever amount of decks you want, like, and play around with it. And with the playsets then, as you can see, I did all these addition, multiplying all the way down here. I even did super rares and triple rares, but that's not added in the playset. So with this playset, common, uncommon, rare, double rare, climax, common, climax, rare, we end up with a playset price of $224.12. If you add a trial deck in there for $25, you end up with $250 actually, like roughly $249.12. But let's just round up. Let's just throw that extra money in there. So $250 is what it's roughly going to cost you to get a trial deck playset today. We know, as I've said, over time, those playable cards will drop in price. So even though it's $250 today, tomorrow, next week, it could be $225. So people selling it at $225, $200, it seems to be okay to me. Like it doesn't hurt. So 150 still sounds really, really bad. The other thing I do here is I add up the rare and double rare only, and that comes out to 180.88. The reason I do this again is because when sellers open up cases, right, you have commons, uncommons. It's just natural. How many people are really going out there and buying commons, uncommons? It does happen depending on what the image actually is on the card. Maybe people are just specifically collecting one card But realistically, you're not selling a ton of these commons uncommons, so I kind of just throw out their values. Same thing with Climax Common, Climax Rares. Seems kind of silly to do that with Climax Rares, but I still do it. Right, so 180.88, and even if you do that math, 205.88 is what I come out to be. So really, I think the lowest, a healthy low price on this would be $200 for a playset of Rent-A-Girlfriend. Like if you want to get rid of it, 150, and that's what I mean. 150 is just insane. 150 could have a couple reasons to it. It could just be because they want to get rid of it now. They made enough money off their SSP and SPs. And that number is right there, 979.04. Again, that uses the TCG player average, which you can dispute on. You could take that down 100, 200 if you want. But you could see where the magic of this happens, right? You get sell 2 play sets, $150. So that's 300, and then add in another 700, and you get like $1,000. And then if you have triple rares and SRs, then you still make your money back. You may make a little bit more. In the end, I think 150 is just insane. Like it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Buying these things at 300 plus doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me now, seeing what we're seeing with the past couple sets. So play sets, value is there. It's fun if you actually are going to use all the cards or just want to collect the play set of all of them, have 4 of every card, to throw it in that awesome binder that has 4 pockets on a row. But other than that, like you're paying way too much if you're paying 300. It's just a little, it hurts me as someone that budgets to actually have to pay 300. It's like that cheesery, right? Buying it at 400 now to have it at 200. Buying a playset at 350, 325, 300, and now seeing it down to 200, 150. It hurts. It hurts me as a budgeter. Okay. So Rent-A-Girlfriend, that is it. That's our playset. Kind of ugly looking. What we got with Data Bullet. What I'm about to say here is I hope people don't take this the wrong way. The people that are selling this, I hope you don't take this too offensively. Not really trying to target you, but this is what I got to say about it. Data Bullet, I talked about on a video before. I didn't know when it was going to come out. Audrey, who watches this, you'll see Audrey write in the comments a lot. One of the comments was that a store that she knows says this product, they got an email that says this product is not going to be coming anytime soon / if it ever will. We don't know the actual date it's coming out. And if that store got notification, I'm just making that assumption that every store got notified. It might not have been every store got notified. I don't know either way. Right? I don't know. I never got the email myself because I'm not a store and I don't have someone I talk to about a store, okay? But realistically, this thing was set to come out in December. So people probably pre-ordered it, let's say November, October, maybe even in August, right? I know I skipped September, but some people pre-order like 4 months ahead of time at their place that they buy it from. So right now, if you ordered it in August, you're 6 months out. And I made a video that said, you do not want to pre-order something too early, because if you don't get that product, right, like if the store screws you. In this case, the store isn't screwing you, it's the product hasn't been delivered, it hasn't been manufactured, there was an error on it, and we don't know when we're going to get it. But just imagine this. That scenario that I brought up was a store goes bankrupt. You bought something from them 6 months ago, and because you bought from them 6 months ago, can you actually get your money back? The answer for most people is no. You are not getting it back, because I believe anyways, I haven't checked if they updated it. PayPal has a limit of 6 months to actually charge the sucker back. You can't get your money back that way then. If you have a credit card and the credit card is only 3 months that they'll let you dispute it on, you already missed that boat. Like, that thing is long gone. So the fact that I come out here on TCG Player, I go on eBay, right? Like, there are stores still selling this stuff, stores, sellers, whoever the heck they are, right? That they are selling this stuff still, knowing that there is no date that this is going to come out, and they're just holding on to your money. I don't know what they're doing with it. If they potentially go bankrupt, right? The economy is iffy right now. We have inflation through the roof. We have potentially Russia invading Ukraine. You may ask why that I'm even bringing that up. It's because when they do that, it's going to rise energy costs. It's going to cause a massive amount of problems that if you're not thinking about it, it's going to happen. With those problems, you have potential of, like down the chain, like stores going out of business because the people that afforded cards might not be able to afford those cards in the future. You see what's happening with gas and all that, right? Like, are you going to put gas in your car or are you going to buy these cards? And more than likely, you're probably going to buy gas for your car because you need to go to work and you don't have that extra income anymore. So what I'm saying here is I don't like the fact that I still see people selling the stuff, right? Like, I guess you can if you have faith that they're going to deliver, but even then you're holding on to someone's money, and you don't know when you're going to deliver it. It just feels wrong to me that you have a item that you can't guarantee delivery of, and you're just still trying to sell it. Lastly, if they don't actually deliver on a data bullet and those PR cards don't show up, then what do you think this thing is worth? Let me bring this up. Remember back in the day, my sister opened this up? This shiny PR card. It was inside of the Data Bullet Extra Booster. It shouldn't have been. It should have been in the surprise set. And I am holding on to one of these things because we got basically an error. It shouldn't have been in there. And if these things don't show up, then I don't know how much it's going to be worth. I would never sell it, but it's neat to think about in a way that I potentially can be holding on to something here that not many people will actually have. So pretty cool. I know when she got it, it was like upsetting, but now that we have it, it's out there. So the PR cards are out here, the non-shiny version. There is people selling it if you would like to buy it, even though more than likely it seems wrong that they're selling it. That's a different story. Okay, I'm at the end here. For the people that are new, haven't been around much, I wanted to show you a couple websites. This is kind of like a la Pittsburgh Weiss Schwarz. At the very end of some of their videos, they show you different places you can check out. So if you were, and I've seen this, a couple of people ask this like in the last week, if you need to look at decks, you have no idea how to make a deck and you just want to, this thing says hopium. That title says hopium. I'm like, I didn't look at some of these titles, but they're actually pretty funny. But if you actually need ideas for a deck, you just want to start and you want to try out a deck, then go out here to Encore Decks, right? And you can select the language because again, we know it's in Japanese or English. So there's Japanese sets, there's English sets. Just go out there, pick all these, and you'll find stuff comes back. It'll be nice. It's a nice place. Then you can go out onto Weiss Fight. Weiss Fight is a place that you can actually, it's free. You come in here, username, password, blah, blah, blah. You can import these decks over here and play against people. They have a Discord. You can be a patron if you like this place. But yeah, you can try it out. You can play other people. You can play against yourself. I talked about how you can actually do that. Really, you open up two different browsers. You open up a, like a Firefox and Edge. You can do that, or Chrome, whatever. And you can play literally against yourself, two different decks. So you try to do that. I've said before I played Haruhi and what was it, Slime. Choice Slime. Haruhi got destroyed. But you can easily tell like why a set is better than another by doing this. So you get a little insight on this game and the different decks and what they do by doing that. Next is if you haven't joined any of the Facebook groups, here's first one, Weiss Schwarz Global Community. I'm going to show this again, match it up, 10.6K members. Next one is the NA community, 8.6K members. And lastly, we got the Weiss Schwarz Auction Center, 2.5K members. Reason I show you these is because These are the places where you can get information. You can see people sell in the actual groups, and you can find those sweet deals with the auction center. As I mentioned before in another video, there are people selling stuff on the auction center, and they go for a lower price because you don't have the same pool amount of people. You don't have the total market actually looking at these auctions. So they tend to sometimes go lower than they should be because of that. And you also get the whole Facebook buying experience too, where you have to pay taxes and all that other stuff that goes with it. Okay, so that is it for this update for Weiss Schwarz, anyways. One last thing is, did anybody actually buy these secret layer Street Fighters? I did. I did. I was so excited when I saw it. I was like, holy crap. There was a time period when this came up that it looked like it was sold out and people were freaking out that it wasn't, that it was gone. Like it was the bundles that were sold out and they were just like messed up, but it's all cleared up now. And as you can see, Street Fighter, Magic the Gathering. I was a Guile player. I don't know about the rest of you. I know uh, there's a lot of Ken users out there, but I think these look really, really cool. Can you imagine? I know people are excited for Marvel on there. I love playing Marvel versus Capcom. So if only you had a set that had all that in there, Marvel versus Capcom, that would have been pretty sweet. I don't see Cammy in here. I think Cammy was in there. But yeah, it's cool. I bought the foil and non-foil version of the Street Fighter set. So I can't wait to actually get it. It doesn't actually come out until July 29th, so I got a long, long wait. Holy crap. I didn't actually. I remember seeing that date, but in my mind, I didn't really think 5 months. 5 months. They don't charge you for. So the nice part about this again is they don't charge you until they actually send it. Oh, you don't have to worry about this whole 6 month thing that I was just talking about. Like you have some time before you actually get charged for it. So that'll be nice. Anyways, that is everything. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I think I'm going to attempt a video tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. Going to a movie tonight. We went and saw Jackass yesterday. My wife hated it. Hated it. I turned to her. I wish I could have recorded it, but the movie theater is dark afterwards. She was like, that is the second worst movie type that I've seen in my life. She hates gore movies, which was number one. She was like, it is gross and disgusting, and parts of it wanted to make her vomit. So if you like those kind of movies, I enjoyed myself. There were some parts that I wasn't very too fond of, but overall it was a Jackass movie. It was exactly what you thought it would be. I had a lot of fun. Anyways, I will see you all later. I'll see if I can do that video tomorrow. If not, have fun, be happy, and don't spend anything outside of your budget. Have a good one.